If you want to find out about classical queers, then you're in the right place with Alice and Jahid.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to our second episode of Classical Queeros. This is a podcast where two gay people of color de-straighten the history of classical music by highlighting queer composers and more. I'm Shahid Osuna, and I cannot ride a bike to save my life.
And I'm Alice Park, and I can
ride a bike?
ride a bike. Yeah, I have it. I have a bike. I bought a bike at the beginning of quarantine, and I have used it perhaps 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's on me. I should use it more.
I did not know you have a bike. That is really cute.
Yeah, I do. It's purple. It's my favorite.
Wow. I have always wanted like a mint colored, like teal colored, what are they called? Beach cruisers? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, yeah.
I've always wanted one.
Oh my gosh, those are nice. I think that would be nice for you too, because you can't ride a bike. And so it's like, I think it's like more steady, so it'd be easier
They are?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit, you know?
Oh my God.
Because they're like wider, so it's not like super narrow. You're not just going to fall down.
Uh-huh. Wow, I had no idea. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I like can't ride. Like people have tried to teach me like several times. Like, oh, you can't ride a bike. I'll teach you. And then they like fail. So I think I'm just like unteachable.
No, you just need the right teacher. I'll do it. I'll be your dad and I'll teach you how to
Dad. Okay. Okay, perfect.
And then Sam is your mom.
Yes, it's true. I'm your gaby. Well, I'm so excited to start today. Today we're going to be talking about Wendy Carlos, who is a photographer, artist, trans woman, cat mom, and dog mom, bisexual queen,
Whoa.
map maker, but also...
Oh my God.
Also, we're just going to be talking mostly about how she is just like, you know, casually one of the pioneers of electronic music and so much more. Just Wonder Woman.
Wow, what a queen.
Very much queen.
Just Wonder Woman. Oh my God. I'm really excited to talk about her because like I knew she existed from school and all that, but it was always like if this is Walter/Wendy Carlos and this person did Switched on Bach, and that was the full extent of my knowledge. And like until maybe a few months ago, honestly, I was never positive because I never heard about her like since. I was never positive like which one of those names was her dead name and her actual name, which is just, you know, that just goes to show how bad the education was.
Yeah. Which is sad. I think that they're not putting enough emphasis, but she's like seriously so involved in the beginnings of electronic music, which is where a lot of new music is today, is involving, you know, electronics. So she kind of foresaw this happening like from the beginning. She was like, this is the direction it's going to head. She was like, this like music that's going on with like serialism is like so ugly and unmusical, and it's going to have to go somewhere new, and that's going to be electronic. So she like saw that from the beginning. Amazing.
She's psychic. She
is psychic.
Is there anything she can't do?
No, actually, if you scroll down, so to our listeners, we're looking at our episode document, and I have pasted a picture that she painted on the 3rd page.
Oh my God, she made that?
Yeah, she painted that. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to describe it. Me, the person who's good at words. Oh gosh, it's a really nice painting. It's of like this lady in a pink like skirt suit, sitting on a rock holding a balloon, and she looks happy and she's at a park. But like, it's just such nice painting.
Yeah. This is like one of her early paintings, and she went back and found it. And she was like,
wow.
She called it like the sin of her youth. Like she was like, it was actually a pretty good effort. But I'm just like, this is a good effort because I can't even draw like a stick figure. So this is like really amazing to me.
This is just like Ethel Smythe in our last episode being like, I damaged my left hand forever, and then I could only get an octave on the piano.
Well, I love it. Like, I mean, you know, good for them. I like love it. I love it for them.
Overachievers. Overachieving queer musicians.
Absolutely. So we're going to get more in depth with her and her life and her career. But first, we're going to start with our segment, What Do You Say, Gay? Our question today is, if you, Alice Park, could go back in time and pick another instrument, what would it be and why?
That's a good question. I like how it's targeted at me.
Is that you, Alice Park?
Yeah. I feel like, okay, well, I love the flute a lot, but I didn't choose it. I was small. I was in the 4th grade when I started beginning band, and I like all the instruments seemed super exciting. So I took the form home to like choose instruments, and I took it to my parents, and I was like, I don't know what I want. So like the next day I'm lying on the couch and my mom's like, you're going to play the flute because you don't need to buy reeds and you're too small for anything else.
Yes. No reeds.
Yeah. No reeds. So yeah, that's why I play the flute, because it's small and there's no reeds. But if I had to pick something else, I don't know. I feel like I am I have a body that was built for a woodwind, like not brass.
Okay.
You know, my lips are not good at that. So like I would say French horn because it's so pretty.
Oh yeah, it is.
But I just don't think I could do that. So I'm going to say, I think bassoon.
Bassoon. Ooh.
Yeah, I think bassoon, because it's a wind instrument. It's like a nice low register, which is like the opposite. You know, that's a whole fun thing. And nobody plays the bassoon. So like I could graduate from college and then just immediately have a ton of jobs because nobody knows any bassoon players. Yeah. So like, I think,
the Valley. No bassoons here. Well, there's a few, but very little. True. Mm-hmm. Wow. But you're so right. I mean, we have like such a portable instrument. We have like the cutest, like we have flute scooter bags. We have like all these accessories. Yeah, I love it. It's so portable. Like I can't believe I found like a Calvin Klein bag that would fit my flute and piccolo, just like messenger bag. Like imagine if I played like French horn and then I could do it.
Oh no. Literally my computer right now is on Sam's French horn case.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's giant.
Other uses.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, in marching band, I played piccolo for 3 of my 4 years, and we had these jackets that we would wear for football games. And there was like a pocket that people call the drug pocket on the inside. And I would just stick my piccolo there because I was the only person in the band who could do that with my instrument. And yeah, so.
And keep it warm.
I love the portability. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You know, just shove it up your sleeve.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's the way to go.
I still do that like in concerts. Like,
yeah.
if it's cold, which it hasn't been lately. But anyways.
Oh my God. I know. Well, I mean, it's not like we've had concerts lately either.
True. Yeah. That's so funny that you say that, because the first, like when I picked flute, it was also like not really my first choice. And it was also because I didn't have to get reeds. It was also like, it was between flute and clarinet because there was like a hole in our marching band space because I came into my high school late. And then my band director was like, do you play woodwind? I was like, yeah, and I didn't. So like I picked that. I was a tuba player. So I was like,
I can't believe, I'm sorry, keep going, but I'm going to stop. I can't believe that you play as many instruments as you do, as well as you do. It is
oh my God,
horrifying.
I do not play tuba anymore.
Yeah, but you did.
I did, yeah. Unfortunately. But if I could go back, I would definitely be like, no, you need to play oboe. Because I have always loved oboe. Like one of the first film scores I heard, The Wind and the Lion, had like this really beautiful oboe solo in it. And I was like, oh my God, I want to play that. My older sister played oboe. And I just like on and off have done that. Like, oh, I pick up an oboe and then I learn it and then I stop. But I wish I could go back and just like permanently do oboe.
Yeah, that'd be good. That also would be, it's the other double reed. You would also have a ton of jobs. Maybe not as much. I feel like there's probably more oboe players than bassoon players, at least in my personal experience.
I think I know more oboe players than bassoon players. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's a rarer instrument and it's a double reed. So basically we're twins. Imagine if you played oboe and I played bassoon and we were just this like insane duo, just the way that we are now, but on the double reed instruments.
Oh yeah. Let's shout out to Double Reed Dish, other podcast. It's a great podcast. Go listen to it if you play double reeds or if you don't. Anyways, I would, yes, we would be double read sisters.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about Wendy Carlos?
No, we have to take a break.
Oh my God, you're right. Okay, let's take a short break. If you want to find out about classical queers, then you're in the right place with Alice and Jahid. And we're back. Okay. We're back.
Yay.
So, Wendy Carlos was born November 14th in 1939 in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, to a musical family. Her mom played piano and sang. I think she had another family member who played trombone. And she started piano at 6 and then composed her first piece at 10, which was a trio for clarinet, accordion, and piano.
I'm sorry. What?
Clarinet, accordion, and piano.
How do you write for accordion?
I don't even know what an accordion is. Like,
I feel like nobody learns how to play the accordion. You just like are born a mime, and then that's it. You know how to play.
I know, it's just like accordion. Like, I have no idea. I had an ex who was like, I really want to learn how to play accordion. I was like, what? Why? Like, that's such a random instrument. I mean, all respect to accordion players. I love the videos on YouTube of like accordion players playing Vivaldi Concerti. Like, oh my God, it's so good. But I have no idea.
But like, what is it even? Like, it's got like keys on one side and then extra buttons on the other side.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. It's just like a machine. Like,
it's a robot. The person isn't doing anything. They're just miming. They're miming it.
They're miming. Listen, I just play a silver tube and that's all I do. Okay, I don't know anything else. I don't even know what an accordion is. Okay. So she wrote that piece. She also had a big interest in technology and design at an early age. When she was 14, she won a science fair, built a computer. Remember, this is 1953. But also, look at these little icons I put here that she made. They're on her website. But they're little cats.
Oh my God.
She designed these little cats.
Those are adorable. What are these for? Like an icon, like a desktop icon kind of thing?
I think it says on her website, but I just got distracted and looked at the cats and then pasted it. I don't know what it is for.
Oh, they're so cute. There's 3 little cats and they're all in like the kind of cat position where like their butt is on the ground, their head is above, but they like are still like hunching over even though their head is up.
They're like, they're like in a cat pose.
Yeah, cat pose. Is it a gray one or is it white? Or is it, that's gray. And then a yellow one and a brown one.
They're so cute.
Wow. Rosie is gray and yellow and brown.
That is Rosie right there.
Literally, Wendy Carlos invented Rosie.
Wendy Carlos pioneered the first Rosie.
The first Rosie.
But they're so cute. I like love them so much. Yeah, she has a bunch of icons on her website that she designed, like, which is incredible. It's like completely different. Like, you know, there's like I feel like there's very few names in the world where people can know them for different things. Like, oh yeah, like this person did that. Oh, they also, it's like somebody else is like, oh, they did that. I know that person for this. Well, Wendy Carlos is one of those people.
That's amazing. We love it.
Yeah.
What a literal icon. Oh my God, an icon.
An icon. Wow. But
yeah.
Okay. Also,
wait, what was I going to say? No, you go. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I was going to say, I forgot to say that, yes, she actually also has like photography that was published by NASA. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So she has a lot of things. So this is like one of her early ventures into design. And for those few next years, she was like experimenting a lot with computers and design and music. She would create work that like consisted of tape recorders playing tones. And so when she was going through school, she dealt with a lot of bullying, but was bright in sciences and math and her art. And that took her through until she got to Brown University. When she was at 23, she was attending Brown, and she was also teaching electronic music lessons, like informal lessons at her house.
What do you think that entails? Like, you show up and she's like, this is a tape recorder. And they're like, whoa, I've never seen that before because this is the 60s.
I think it was like more like computer stuff than tape recorders, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm sure there was like other stuff she was working with. I think those are just like some of her first works was tape recorders.
Okay. Well, okay, still, but like, what does a computer look like then? I don't know anything about history.
I'm sure.
Like, can everyone get one, or did she just build one? So that's why everyone has to take lessons at her house because she has the only computer in the entire like county.
I know. Like, I feel like, yeah, computers weren't very popular back then. So, like, I think a lot of people didn't even know what they were. So it's like interesting. Maybe she was teaching people what they were and also how to make music with them. Like,
wow,
it was very experimental. So. Yeah, and so at the school, well, not yet, actually. So she went to Brown for music and physics. And then...
Wait, music and physics?
Music and physics. She was, like, very good at science and math, like, amazing. She excelled in both, ended up on the dean's list, went to Columbia for a master's in composition. There was a relatively new computer music center. It was the first of its kind in the U.S. Barrio... Davidovsky and Varese studied or worked there at some point too, which is really amazing. She had worked there with Leonard Bernstein in presenting a concert of electronic music too. So she studied.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of names. She studied under Urzachevsky, who was one of the first pioneers of electronic music in the U.S., along with Otto Luning, who taught Harvey Solberger as well at some point. Flute fact. Hashtag flute fact.
Hashtag flute fact.
So Otto and Urzachevsky co-founded the Electronic Music Center together. So she went in and she was super interested in this. It was like perfect for her. And Urzachevsky saw a lot of talent in her and allowed her to stay there after hours and work. Like, so she just had like special access to work in this, and she took full advantage. She just like immersed herself in her art. As you would, like, imagine like walking into like Flute Center of New York and then being like, oh, I will play flute forever now, and then just getting to like live there. So she like composed a bunch of music there, dialogues for piano and 2 loudspeakers in 1963, and 1964 variations for flute and electronic sounds, episodes for piano and tape. In 1965 she wrote Pomposities for narrator and tape.
Pomposities. Wait, what?
I think it's like a pompous piece. I don't know, like pompous cake. Pomposities.
Papaya. Papaya by Wendy Carlos.
I love Papaya. And she also wrote an opera called Noah. Casually wrote an opera. You know how it is. So
I casually write operas every weekend. I don't know about you.
Casually just writing an opera right now, actually. I'm doing it while I'm speaking. So after grad school, she worked as an audio engineer at Gotham. I think it was called something Gotham. Sorry, I did not write that one down. In New York.
Okay.
She was mastering audio for radio contracts and government shows, including the Department of Defense. So her teachers were like, hey, you should go work in this field and get some experience. This would definitely come in handy later. Wink, wink. During this time.
Ooh.
Yeah. So at this time, she met Robert Moog. It is pronounced Moog. I think people get mad if you say Moog. So I learned that on the internet.
You learned the hard way?
The hard way on the internet, yeah. People were very mean. Not to me, but to other people. And I was like, okay. It's pronounced Moog.
Oh my God.
Although there is a video with him saying that some people say Moog. And he's like, it just depends on where you are. But
oh my God. It's so, of course it would be just like classical music people to be gatekeepery about a guy's name when he himself is like, I don't really care.
Yeah, he was like, it's Moog some places. Moog. He says Moog. So everyone says Moog. So she met him, and it was actually funny. They met because like she woke him up, I guess, from like a nap at like a hotel. Yeah.
Like in the lobby, or just she walked into his room and was like, hey, who are you?
So here's the quote I have here. Bob and I were friends for about 41 years. That sounds incomprehensible now, but there you are. We met when I accidentally woke him up. He was taking a much needed nap on a banquette on the mezzanine of the Barbizon Plaza Hotel in New York City. So I guess just like happened upon Robert Moog.
Wow.
It's like sleeping. They became good friends from there. And of course,
wow, that's cute.
Yeah. Of course, as everyone knows, Robert Moog, his thing was the Moog synthesizer. And they became partners and worked on this together. And she helped him develop the synthesizer, convinced him to add like sensitive technology for dynamic contrast, and added like other sorts of ideas. She was very much like the artistic brain to the first synthesizer that Moog created.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she was basically like co-creator.
That's amazing. And why is it her name on the synthesizer? The Moog Carlos?
The Mooglos.
Synthesizer? Mooglos? Car Moog?
Wait, I said Mooglos already. Yeah, Cogue.
Cogue? Yeah, the Cogue synthesizer.
The Cogue. That's kind of cool.
Cogue.
Anyway.
It's spelled C-A-O-O-G. Cogue.
Caoog. Yeah, she made the Caoog. That's where the ka comes from in the synthesizers that we know today. Yeah, but she worked really well with him, and she says in an interview with Chuck Miller, Bob Moog and I were both of similar minds. He was the engineering brilliance behind that, and I had more of the composer's, orchestra's performance skills, but we both spoke each other's languages. We both very much enjoyed the collaboration. So she
nice.
owned a Moog, I guess it's like payment for like...
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you spend that much time making it, you get one also.
Right. So she like had one, and he like delivered it to her apartment himself. And it was like huge, and they carried it up to her apartment together. It was like this giant machine. And she used this thing to like do like skits on radio shows and commercials and like little like jingles. So around 1967, Wendy met her future roommate, collaborator, and lifelong friend Rachel Elkind. They were the same age. Elkind was a composer, singer, producer with a background in musical theater, and was the secretary of the president of Columbia Records. Oh, wink, wink.
Ooh.
Foreshadowing. So, yeah. So they became friends, and Wendy showed Elkind some recordings that she did when she was working at the Computer Music Center. And Rachel took a liking to one of Wendy's recordings of Bach two-part Invention in F major. And she saw potential in the synthesizer to be used as the piano's next incarnation to honor Bach. So Wendy was like super into this idea of evolving the piano into something else. Like we had the clavichord, and then we have the piano, and then we have what Wendy is going to create and make and put into the spotlight.
Yeah.
So with Elkind's connections, wink, wink, they successfully planned together an album of electronic Bach. They moved in together, signed a recording contract, were given a $2,500 advance.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this album, Switched on Bach, was released in 1968 and was faithful transcriptions of Bach on the synthesizer. It rivaled the Beatles in the charts, and it remained in the Billboard charts for more than 300 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
300?
Yeah, that's like a lot of weeks. I don't even know.
How many weeks is that?
I'm like
wait, okay.
gay and can't do math. I have no idea.
Okay, wait, I can do it. So there's 52 weeks in a year.
Wow.
And so that's 1 year. And then 2 years is 104. Okay. So that means 4 years is 208. So we're still not at 300. So 4 years plus 52. Oh no, I'm confused.
No.
Wait, what is it? 208 is 4 years. So 208 plus 52 is 260.
Hashtag gay math.
And 260 is 5 years. And then 260 plus 52 is over 300. So like almost 6 years. Okay. That was
I
exhausting.
can't believe you did that. Like, I didn't even follow. Like, you said a number and then I stopped listening. I was like, where? I'm not following anymore. I don't know where this is going.
52.
I was like, my eyes are just glazed over and there's like.
Honestly, it was a miracle that I got through that too. Math is not my strong suit anymore.
I don't even know what math is. So.
Me neither.
So
anyway, 6 years. Switched on Bach, stayed on the charts for 6 years.
6 years. And
wow, I haven't done anything for 6 years.
Me neither. It was loved. It was like so big. It was loved by rock music fans. It was loved by classical music fans. It made waves. It went gold in 1969 and was the first classical album to go platinum in history in 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. It won 3 Grammys for Best Classical Album, Best Classical Solo Performance, and Best Classical Engineered Recording.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so many things.
Hashtag queen.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Amazing. Let's see. So the synthesizer she was working on when she was making that album could only play one note at a time. And you had to release the note before moving on to the next note. So like imagine playing like a bunch of Bach like that. It's like so stressful. And a lot of time it's like it was really difficult. And it also had a tendency to play out of tune. So she had to like continually fix it.
Oh my God. That's exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was like super determined and she brought it into prominence. And it was like, so synthesizers are mostly like experimental. But to have like a whole solo album of a synthesizer is like, whoa, this is like new.
Yeah.
Very new. So you can understand like why it's like, oh my God, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
So it influenced so many musicians. From the online music magazine Perfect Sound Forever, Carlos ratcheted up the ante by daring to embody one of music's two most hallowed gods, Bach, the other being Ludwig van, and with such inimitable perspicacity that not a whiff of outrage or academic sniffery was registered by anyone boasting more than 2 brain cells to rub together.
Good Lord.
I know, what a quote.
Wait, can we break that down? Because that was a lot of things.
So Wendy, let's do this like, yeah. Okay, so Wendy was bringing the heat by embodying Bach with such inimitable perspicacity. So she was so amazing at playing Bach that like if you were mad, it's because you're dumb, basically.
Okay. I love that translation, but I do have to figure perspicacity. Perspicacity.
Should we do a Google search?
Yeah. Okay. Google. Define perspicacity.
We are an educational show.
Yeah. It says it's a noun. The quality of having a ready insight into things.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. She was like super. She had been studying piano since 6 and she like knew Bach very well. So I would say.
Oh my God. I totally thought you meant like in person. She knew the person Bach very well. She grew up with him.
She knew Bach. Yeah.
They were neighbors. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
Like an immortal vampire.
I'd believe it. I would believe it.
Just like been here like since music began. Yeah, so she released a second album thereafter of Baroque synthesized music under the title The Well-Tempered Synthesizer. It included Handel, Bach, Scarlatti, Monteverdi, and Glenn Gould himself, who is like a great Bach interpreter, said, to put it bluntly, the finest performance of any of the Brandenburgs, live, canned, or intuited, I've ever heard. This album was nominated for 2 Grammys. So very, very amazing.
That's incredible. Isn't Glenn Gould the guy that like everybody looks to for like the best interpretation?
Yes, he's like,
I mean, yeah,
amazing Bach interpreter. He's like very, just like that person where they put like scholarliness and then like also performativeness, like performanceness and like together. Like, yeah, yes. And
and he was the one who was like, Wendy Carlos did the best version of this I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Why do more people not know that?
Because hashtag misogyny.
You're right.
Wendy deserves better.
Sorry. Wendy deserves better.
Yeah. So very like high praise. Like honestly, all of these albums they were like really, really good. I really want to go listen to them. We're going to talk about that later, actually. So I'm going to stop there. I will continue about that later because I was going to say something. Okay. Around the same time, so Wendy was dealing with all this excitement. She was like, did not expect Switch on Bach to go so big. And she was also dealing with her transition and appearance, unfortunately. So that kind of had like a mental effect on her and her ability to perform in person. But thankfully, her album was so successful, she was able to afford gender reassignment surgery in 1972. So this Classical Queeros friendly reminder to our listeners to support and buy from your trans artists. Everybody do so.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of stuff they got to deal with.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like, yes, medical procedures need to be more affordable.
Yeah. The very, very least we could do is just buy things from trans people when they make them.
Yes.
So that's like that is, I think, the bare minimum.
Yes.
Right?
Support their art.
Yeah. Support the art. And then you get some cool art. And you help out a friend. Right,
exactly. And do it even if they don't need any, or if they're not looking for any procedures, because we still need to elevate their voices, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, having a procedure is not, like, that doesn't make a trans person trans.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we support all trans folks.
Respect trans people, buy their art.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she afforded the surgery, but she still wasn't out yet publicly. So she had an interview with People magazine where she explained that like her success was so big. People like Stevie Wonder and George Harrison were like wanting to meet her, like visiting her apartment to like go meet Wendy.
Oh my God.
But she was still like concerned with meeting people and she was trying to hide her identity. So she would be like pretend to be away or would like listen from upstairs, and her best friend Rachel would be like, oh, she's like out of town, she's like not here. So love that so much. Like friendship goals.
Like who? Oh, I don't know her.
Yeah, but honestly, it's so tiring, I'm sure, and it must be I know that Wendy felt guilty for having her friends have to like consistently keep that up. So it must have been tough for sure. She says in this interview, I accepted the sentence, but it was bizarre to have a new life opening up on one hand and to be locked away on the other. So she also started new hobbies, which included eclipse chasing and photographing. So that's where we said, yes, she was chasing eclipses around the world, and she like took photos, and they were published by literally NASA. Like, oh my God, I can't even just
eclipse chasing. That's a really, for lack of a better word, epic title.
Yeah. I would love to do that. Like, I don't even know. I'm sure there's like a community or like a Facebook group or something, but that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a community because like if you're chasing the eclipse, then the people who are all doing that are going to end up in the same spot.
Right. Yeah.
You know, all the time. They're just like, oh my God, I saw you in Brazil last week.
They're like migrating together around the world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Like a caravan of eclipse chasers.
Eclipse chasing. Yeah, I mean, that's such an awesome hobby. I want to, you can also go on her website and look at photographs she's taken. So she has like a whole section on her website dedicated to that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So during this transitional period, she also received an offer to compose for 2 films, one of which I forgot what, I think it was called like Marooned or something. They didn't use the soundtrack at all. The other, though, was Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange.
That's a movie.
That is a movie. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, a movie that we know what it is.
Yes, it's a good, it's a famous movie. It's a good movie.
A famous movie. Thank you. Oh, I'm a disaster.
Disaster gaze.
Yeah.
So Wendy and Rachel were both huge Kubrick fans, and before she had read A Clockwork Orange. So Wendy suggested to Kubrick's attorney that he use a synthesizer and sent them samples of Switched on Bach and the Well-Tempered Synth. Kubrick heard and was intrigued, and like very quickly after was like, come to London. So like
Okay.
it happened like really quickly. I think she said like 2 days later they had to like fly.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So she had to dress in disguise, like appearing male when she was meeting Stanley. And in this magazine, from People magazine, she said, I could tell he felt something was strange, but he didn't know what.
Typical man.
Typical man. Well, I think he also was like so focused on his project that it was just like, you know, it's like,
Okay. He's like, something's wrong, but if it's getting done.
yeah, it's like, I'm not going to even notice. Yeah. It's so funny. I think like he tried to like say like, oh, I have like gay friends, and she was like, I'm not gay, and he was like, oh. Like, he was like trying to figure it out slowly, but they became good friends. So
Okay.
And he respected her work a lot for sure. The movie was a success, obviously, for sure. The movie was a success.
Because as I proved earlier, it is a movie.
That is a movie. It's better than being like, what is that? For sure.
Yeah, like the first one.
Yeah, it's like, what? Yeah. Right. I was like, what? Marooned. I think it was Marooned.
Do you think we would have known what that movie was if they had used her music?
Oh, yeah. Big regrets. Big regrets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
That's what you get.
Yeah, I know. That's what you get, bitch. Just kidding. So, anyways, the soundtrack was like excerpts of synthesized classical music that Kubrick had gotten permission to use. And it included stuff like Rossini, Purcell, Beethoven, and also original works by Wendy. So Wendy went on to release her own soundtrack of the movie, which included the full work. So it was just excerpts in the movie, but she released an album with all of the music that she wrote for it.
Wow.
Yeah. In her arrangement of Beethoven 9 in the movie, she used a vocoder, which she was one of the first people to use a vocoder.
Ooh.
Yeah. So is this pre-Star Wars? This might be pre-Star Wars, right?
Star Wars was 1977.
Okay, for sure. Pre-Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, so before they even knew she was on that true queen of pioneering.
John Williams who?
John Williams who?
It's all about Wendy Carlos.
We love and respect John Williams, but let's make room for Wendy Carlos right now.
Yeah.
Let's decenter him and center Wendy Carlos. Her pioneering of vocoder, you know, so amazing. She also has a major piece of hers in the film called Time Steps, which is a huge landmark for electronic music. And she had began composing that for a while before she started on the movie. And her friend Elkin also co-wrote some of the music in the film. They collaborated basically on a lot of stuff together.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So one New York Times critic wrote about the soundtrack, as sheer music is, it is a giant step past the banalities of most contemporary track films. Oh, film tracks. Sorry. Oh. Okay. So what was she doing also? Because obviously Wendy is Wonder Woman, Superwoman. She cannot do enough. She was also working on another album at this time called Sonic Seasonings. Yeah, just so much to do. I can't even like practice on one piece for a day. And she's like doing like 2 whole albums. And it's like, She had like, so Sonic Seasonings had a track dedicated to each of the four seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, this was like a completely different approach. They wanted to just write music that was deliberately minimal. And it consisted of field recordings, like animal sound, sparse melodies. It was just like very, very minimal. And what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like environments. I'm trying to think of a word, but it's
like it uses sounds from the environment. Is that what you're trying to say?
Like it's environment sounds. There's definitely a word. Nature. Atmosphere. Atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
Yes, atmospheric. Very atmospheric music. This album was also really, really big. It inspired a lot of new age musicians that would come after this like idea of atmosphere. It didn't sell as much as they hoped, though. So they went back and really switched on Bach too. Columbia asked her to produce another synthesizer album, Baroque music. So she did. However, with this album, with this album, Wendy requested that they send the albums out with like postage, like prepaid postage, so the fans could write letters about what they want from Wendy. Like, what do you want to hear? You know?
Oh, that's cute. And then they can just like write it in the envelope and drop it in the mail.
Right. Yeah.
That's cute.
So, for sure. She was like, really like, what do they want? Like, let's have them decide. And
you know what this is? This is just Twitter, pre-Twitter.
Pre-Twitter, I know. She invented Twitter.
We been new.
We been new. This is Twitter. So it was reportedly split between wanting original Wendy music and also more synthesized interpretations of classics. So naturally, she did both. By Request, the name of the album, was released in 1975. Included Wagner, Tchaikovsky, her own works, and also a cover of a Beatles song.
Is there singing? Probably not.
That's a good question. I have not heard it. Maybe, I think that there must be for the Beatles. Maybe there's like vocoder stuff.
Well, I guess I know what I'm listening to after this.
Yeah, well, our fans will have to listen and then tell us what they think.
Yeah.
Be like, I love that.
Yeah, that's the only correct answer, by the way.
Yes. The last track on the album was variations on themes by Elgar. But there was some like drama with Elgar's estate or something like that, where they were like, they refused to have his music presented in this style, which is so dumb. Like, hashtag haters.
Wow.
She was devastated. And how dare you devastate the queen? Like, no.
Yeah. Just that's rude.
Rude.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. So I think in the UK presses of the album, they like switched that last track with something else that had already been previously released on Wendy's albums. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Gatekeeperism in classical music needs to go home and stay there.
Seriously.
Tired. I'm tired. Yeah.
Elgar, imagine Elgar would be so much bigger and better if Wendy had a chance to. Yeah. Hashtag regrets.
Hashtag regrets.
So in the time before 1980, she was also commissioned to write several short film scores for UNICEF. She had also been wanting to publicly come out in an interview at this time. And she did later that year, I think in 1979, she came out publicly as a woman. After the interview, oh my God, I can't talk. After the interview, she said, the public turned out amazingly tolerant, or if you wish, indifferent, she says. There had never been any need of this charade to have taken place. It had proven a monstrous waste of years of my life, which is both good and bad. I mean, I'm glad people were tolerant, but yeah, it's sad that she felt, oh my gosh, that like,
yeah, what a bittersweet relief that must have been,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, wow. Well, she's happy now, right?
Yes, very happy. I'm sure she has so much. I mean, she's like basically made her mark in history for sure.
Yeah,
I'd be happy for sure. Rachel and Wendy then began to work with Kubrick one more time on The Shining. So Kubrick suggested to them that they read the book first, which is by Stephen King, and the movie was based off of that book. They spoke to Kubrick about what he wanted musically, and so they ended up recording over 4 hours of synthesized music. However, since they last worked together, Wendy and Rachel had like gone a different direction musically, towards like rich theatrical textures, and was like far away from what Stanley had like envisioned and like wanted from Wendy. So he wanted to know, like, is there any themes that you think would go really well with the story? And she suggested Dies Irae from A Symphonie Fantastique, like the section. And he wanted to use an orchestra. So they recorded with orchestral musicians over like 7 hours of music based on the Dies Irae. But I guess Kubrick was like, oh, this sounds too much like Berlioz or something like that. I don't know. He was like, he didn't want to use it. So he just ended up using cues that were like practice cues for the film that they had already been using. And only 2 cues that they recorded, Rachel and Wendy recorded, were used in the actual movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think she released all the other music later on. So
that's cool. Yeah, it's nice that, like, you know, the music that doesn't get seen at first, she keeps releasing.
Yeah, as long as she could. Yeah, as long as there was no problems, she tried to release it, which is awesome to be able to hear all of that.
Yeah.
In 1980, she released an album of all 6 Brandenburg Concertos on the synthesizer, of course. This was her 4th album of classical covers on synthesizers.
Wow.
And it was also the first album to release under Wendy Carlos rather than her dead name.
Yay!
Yeah.
That must have felt so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, seriously. So by that time, Rachel had been seeing somebody and married and then left to France. Heartbreaking.
Wait, no, you said Rachel. I totally... You said Rachel, and my brain was like, Wendy got married?
No, Rachel got married. So her roommate, Rachel Elkin, had been seeing this guy and then got married and left to France. And so that's sad. I mean, what a great friendship. But yeah, of course. Good for Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel sounds like the real MVP. Like, just always there, always supportive. Like, no questions asked. Like, ready to... Like, if Wendy killed a man... Rachel was like, all right, where's the, like, I'll get the shovel.
So basically us.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did when I killed a man.
Yeah. Shh, we can't talk about that.
Right. Sorry. So, anyways, Wendy then moved in with her new friend, Anne-Marie Franklin. Her new studio in Anne-Marie's house was enclosed in a Faraday cage to shield equipment from white noise. And I think like her friends would call it like, I think the spaceship or something like that. It's like all this technology, like this cage.
Oh my gosh.
So futuristic.
Yeah. It's wild. Where's Wendy? She's in the spaceship again.
You know, going to Pluto.
Classic Wendy.
So in 1981, Wendy was hired to write the music for Disney's Tron, which is huge. Sound supervisor Michael Framer wanted to have the best soundtrack for the film. Naturally, obviously, Wendy would write this music. Obviously. So they wanted the music to portray like a computer world. She was intrigued. She read the script. She was like disappointed in the script. She was like, this is like very comic booky. Like, okay. Yeah. She was like, I guess, but we can make this interesting. Like, I will write music for it. It will be good.
I will save this movie.
Yeah. I don't know if she saved it, but she like definitely tried to see the good in it. And so together, Wendy, Michael, Anne-Marie worked on this soundtrack. She called this the most like difficult work she ever did in her career because it was such a short deadline and the demands were so tight. But she liked the challenge. She liked being able to do that. She was Wonder Woman, of course.
Wonder Woman.
So up to 11 p.m. the day before, they were like working, just like grinding up to 11 p.m. the day before. London Philharmonic was supposed to like record the music. It's like so exhausting, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
So she was expanding by working solely electronically, adding orchestral color. She had like studied orchestration. So she was showcasing that part and incorporated the London Philharmonic. It also included the UCLA chorus and a smaller orchestra and some LA sessions and the Royal Albert Hall organ.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A global ensemble.
Yeah. She replaced portions of the orchestral performance with her own performances on synthesizer, though. I need to fact check this, but the whole score is in 7/8.
What?
Yeah, I read that on Tron's wiki, that the entire score is in 7/8, which is really cool.
That's bold.
Yeah. She wanted like this like uneven feeling sounding soundtrack.
Well, that would do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So she worked really hard on the soundtrack, and then Columbia was not interested in releasing a full album of her music from Tron. What the heck? So
rude.
So she actually decided to use some of that music in her next studio album, Digital Moonscapes. This album was her first album which used a fully digital synthesizer. So she talks about how in the beginnings, using computers was like super primitive and like very like old and slow. Not old, sorry. It was like just like primitive computer stuff. So it wasn't working very quickly. So she was analog for a long while before she started using digital, and she had to like rework everything, like how she had been working, changed. So this album used like an orchestra that was like fully synthesized.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty amazing. So she had this and she was like, but we need to do more hybridization. We need to do more change. We need to do more. So she released Beauty and the Beast as her next studio album. Beauty in the Beast, not and the Beast for our listeners there. Beauty and the Beast was her next studio album, released in 1986 by Audion Records, her first for a label other than Columbia Records. So she used this album to explore African rhythms, Indian ragas, Balinese, Javanese tuning systems, microtonality, folk instruments, and jazz. So this is like...
Those are so many things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A massive work. The album features a quote by Van Gogh, and it says, "I am always doing what I cannot do yet in order to learn how to do it." Yeah. So the album is completely synthesized. Imagine having to synthesize like all of these world instruments. Like,
no,
so much. It's like never been done before, you know. So
my gosh. First you have to learn about the instrument and then you have to synthesize it.
Yeah, like create it from like scratch.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What a queen.
And for our listeners, there is videos on YouTube of her like showing how she creates sound. It's so interesting.
Ooh.
I highly recommend you go watch some of those videos where she like shows, I think there's one where she like makes a xylophone sound and she shows how to do it. Yeah. So it's such a cool idea. And she like used all these tuning systems on synthesizer, one of the first. She considers this the most important album of her career. And basically it's like, this is what I should have been doing the whole time. Because she said Switched on Bach was like only introducing a new medium of music, right? This is like taking all of the world and like combining it together. So Billboard called this album a manifesto for the synthesizer in the global village.
Wow.
Yeah. Some other albums.
That's a cool, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. Some other albums she released, Secrets of Synthesis in 1987, Peter and the Wolf in 1988, with Weird Al Yankovic, who was narrating.
Wow.
Who was reportedly a huge fan of Wendy's since, like, he said, like, since the embryo, which is really funny. And Switched on Bach 2000, which was released in 92.
Okay.
Yeah. It took around 3,000 hours to produce Switched on Bach 2000 because she completely recorded all the music with new digital instruments to mark the 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. So much work. She also released Tales of Heaven and Hell in 98, Rediscovering Lost Scores, 2 volumes, which included previously unreleased music from The Shining, Clockwork Orange, UNICEF films, Split Second, Woundling. So a bunch of music that had not been released yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's so much.
So much. It's like an immense amount of music that she wrote. And pioneering, like, oh my God, just queen. Wendy is one of the most influential composers and pioneers of electronic music alive today. I highly recommend you check out her website, wendycarlos.com, and look at the wealth of information she has on her website. There's tons of articles, music, writing, photos, art, stories. Anything Wendy Carlos is there.
Wow.
Yeah, she has so much on there. It's just so amazing to see, like, you know, all of this information straight from her too, you know? Yeah,
that's so cool. Like, there's no chance for it to be, like, misinterpreted by weird men, you know?
Yeah, and I also love that if you are doing research on Wendy Carlos, her website has a link, I think has a page and has, like, warnings about editors who have edited articles about her, and there's, like, misinformation. So just so y'all know, that should be your first place to look when you're researching Wendy Carlos, because she has so much information, and she also is like, this is wrong. So very, very cool. Recommended listening. Go listen to Switch on Bach if y'all haven't listened to that already. Clockwork Orange soundtrack, especially Time Steps, Beauty and the Beast. Honestly, go listen to all of it. Just listen to everything. But let's also talk about this. Her music is super hard to find on streaming services. It's like almost, I don't think there's anything on Spotify like under her name, really. So it's super hard to find. I think Eastside Digital just stopped distributing her music. So yeah, go support local stores, go to your local record stores and find Wendy Carlos music and keep those stores alive, please.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Imagine Switched on Bach just like on a little record player.
Ooh, yes.
Nice.
That'd be so cool. Or Sonic Seasonings, just like getting to lay down. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like, this is the sounds of autumn. And you just hear like a single bird.
Yeah. Or like Beauty and the Beast and just being transported to like another world completely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Go do it, y'all. That is our episode on Wendy Carlos. I hope everybody enjoyed.
I sure did.
I am so glad. I loved learning about Wendy Carlos.
Yeah, me too. I learned so much. I'm just thrilled. And also, I know we didn't mention it, but I just have to briefly bring up that one picture that we found of her like surrounded by the keyboards, holding a cat and looking up into the camera, just like so happy with her cat.
Yes.
Ooh, I love it. So cute.
Yes. Listeners, Alice and I are cat people. Well, Alice has a dog too, but
I have always been a dog person. And then my girlfriend and I got a cat, and now I would do anything for this cat. I would die for this cat. I would kill for this cat. She's perfect. Where is she?
The cat has killed for you.
The cat has killed for me. Oh my gosh. She, what is today? Today's Thursday. Oh, almost a week ago on Friday, Sam and I left to go on a hike at 6:30 in the morning. We come back at 8:30. We left the balcony door open for Rosie, the cat, to like look at the hummingbirds outside that she is notoriously bad at trying to hunt. Like she'll usually just like see the hummingbird freeze. And then the hummingbird leaves and she's like, man, I missed my chance. But then we come home on Friday morning after our hike, and in the bathroom is just a hummingbird carcass.
Oh my God.
Surrounded by tufts of feathers. And we were like, Rosie, what? And she's like, what? And just starts batting it around like in front of us while I'm screaming.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh my God. She's like, this is my new toy.
Look what I did for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she also put it in our bed at some point, because when I sat down on the bed went boom, and then feathers just like floated back down to the mattress.
It was like a boom or like a boom.
Like a boom.
Like a boom.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rosie's a murderer, and I would also murder for her if that ever became necessary.
Yeah, if that ever became necessary, because that has never happened already. I think we just need to start like a side plot to this podcast where we're like actually murderers and like
we only murder for each other's cats.
yeah, exactly, or for each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that hasn't happened.
No, I don't even know what murder means.
What? Who are you?
No, I don't know what that is.
No. Well,
right.
I had a great time.
Yeah, thank everybody for listening, and catch us on our next episode. Let me try that again. That was so bad. Okay. No. Oh my god, I'm actually having like a heat stroke. Okay. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening, and I'll catch you next time at the next episode of Classical Queeros.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at Classical Queeros and on Twitter at Classical Queero, no S, because Queeros is apparently just one too many characters.
One too many characters, no such thing. I portray many characters.
Okay, bye.
Bye.